Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Let me show you how I was able to draw this realistic drawing of a dog. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started. The size of the paper was 12 by 12 inches. I started scraping my charcoal powder on the paper to produce the charcoal powder I needed for the background. Then I start layering it with my brush to make it look settled. I began rubbing it, and then I switched back to my charcoal pencil, using it to darken the necessary places where I'm supposed to dark to make the background look more darkened as it is in the reference picture. Then I go over it with my same big brush to blending it to make it look soft and okay. Then I go over to the ear. I began bringing out those outlines of the ear gently as it is in the reference picture, and at the same time I was layering the necessary shading that I was supposed to add to the drawing. I began outlining the necessary places, the fur and everything, and then I go over it with my brush to blend in the necessary places of the ear to darken the contrast, and then I use my charcoal powder over it again to darken it as it is in the reference picture. I began going over it with my charcoal pencil again to make it look settled and bring out the necessary darkened places. Then I switch to my white pastel to bring out those fur of the ear. I began bringing it out gently by gently as it is in the reference picture. Those places where the contrast of the fur were not so bright, I began layering it gently by gently. Then I go over it and bring the fur side with my charcoal pencil. I go over it with my charcoal pencil again to deepen the contrast. Then I bring out those white settle fur behind the ear along with the head. So I go over to the next ear and I did it as I did the first ear. I begin darken the necessary places. Then I go over the forehead to bring out those outlines and darken it with the background to make the contrast look more beautiful. Then I go over it with my white pencil and bringing out the fur. I continue bringing out the fur, and I tried to use my electric eraser, but it wasn't working, so I switched back to my white pencil and began layering it as it is in the reference picture. I bring out those long fur of the hair and I go over it with my charcoal pencil, and that's it. Then I go over to the forehead and start layering my charcoal powder on it. I begin smoothing it, blending it as it is in the reference picture, and look how it has started to look. Then I started bringing out the fur in that area. I'm doing it gently as it is in the reference picture, no rush, and sometimes I go and look at it from a distance to know how it is, because sometimes you have to go and check it from a distance, look at it and know what you are really doing, because sometimes you can see your mistakes by looking at it far from behind. I began layering this fur and I go over to the muzzle side along with the eye side. I begin layering the darkened contrast of the eye and started bringing out the outline of the eye. I started layering it, working at the same time with the necessary places, and I go over to blend it with my cutting board. I switch to my charcoal pencil to bring out the outline near the ear. and then I go over to the high side again to bring out the outline and darken the necessary places where I'm supposed to dark. I've been darkening the iris of the eye. This part is very important because that is the place where the realistic features started coming alive. So I began working on it gently as it is in the reference picture. Please always refer back to your reference picture because it is necessary. And then I start blending those places where I'm supposed to blend with my blending brush, and then I go over it with my white pencil to bring out those far beside the eye. Then I switch to my jelly roll pen to bring out those sharp white areas of the eye. Then I blend it with my cutting board, and then I blend it also with my blending brush to make it look settled. Alright, I started bringing out the fur in that area and then swinging it to the left side because that is how it is in the reference picture. I started layering it over and over again so that it will become pop and make it look settled. And then I go over it with my charcoal pencil, continue layering it as it is in the reference picture, and then I started working back on the background. Please, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more art and architectural content. Remember, this page, this channel is not all about art, it's about architectural design too. I will be posting more architectural works recently too for you guys. So I begin working on the background and darken it as it is in the reference picture because the reference picture suggests that the background were very dark, and as I did it, it really comes out even more. I go over to the next eye and started bringing out the features that are supposed to be dark in that area, and then I worked with my white pencil to bring out the fur in that area too. I'm bringing out the fur that are long. Then I worked on the fur close to the left eye, close to the right eye, sorry. And then I go over it with my charcoal pencil to make it pop out, because going over again is very important. Then I started working on the shadows area of the eye. Remember that the right eye is very dark simply because there was a lot of shadows in that area. So I continued darkening it as it is in the reference picture, working over it with my charcoal pencil. I began working on it. I darken it. I started bringing out the features close to the eye, gently as it is in the reference picture. Do not forget that your mind still works along with you, because sometimes it feels like what you are doing is not really bringing out the resemblance. But keep on working, keep on layering those details, keep on bringing it out gently by gently, and you will see your work will really pop out, and at the end you will feel it and you will start praising yourself. Because at some point I wanted to quit this project. I feel like this is not really coming out, but I keep on working on it, and I keep on visualizing it, and yes, it is starting to look as I want it to. My pencil go on this side, and then I started using the lead of the charcoal pencil because I really need it for the background. So you too, maybe you are working on your drawing and your pencil mistakenly broke. Don't just throw it away. You can still use it for something else. You can use it for either powder or something else. So as I work on the background, I began rubbing it with my brush to do the necessary things, and I was not darkening the places where there was a little bit of light. So you can't just work on everything. You can't just dark everything. Sometimes you will leave a little piece of light effect so that you can really work out some details on it. So I go over to the nose side and I begin using my materials, blending brush, charcoal pencil and white pencil, all on it, just to make it come out and look more beautiful. Started using my cotton bud to darken the necessary places, and I used the white pencil to bring out those fur. And then I go to the muzzle. This side is very important because there is a lot of fur in this side, short fur. So I needed to work on it gently and as it is in the reference picture. So I was very patient with this part. Keep on layering this fur as it is in the reference picture and it will really comes out. This part is the part where I feel like yes, my work is started to come in alive. Then I go to the nose and started darkening the necessary places. The nose was a very place that was very dark, so I needed to work on it. And sometimes I step back to look at it from behind to see what I'm really doing. Never relent. Always keep your mind there and keep on doing what you like. Keep on doing it and it will come out. Then I go over it with my white pencil. Then I rub the necessary places behind the nose. Remember that I said the side was so dark, so I keep on layering all what I have. I remember in this drawing I only used 2 charcoal pencil, soft and medium. There's no need for you to use a lot of pencils. I only use charcoal pencil, white pencil and some other erasers. So there's no need for you to buy those fancy pencil before you can work on your drawing. Begin layering those things as it is in the reference picture. Then I go to work on the fur near the neck of the drawing. Started layering it step by step with my Tombow Mono Zero eraser. I didn't waste my time here because I was getting frustrated because I want to do other things. So I layer it fast as I can as it is in the reference picture, and then it come out. This part is not so hard at all. You can just do it anyhow you want and yet it will come out. Bring out the fur gently as it is in the reference picture, and then I go over to the whisker, bringing out the whiskers with my soft charcoal pencil first. With my medium charcoal pencil first before I go over it with my soft charcoal pencil to darken it as it is in the reference picture. You can see it's really coming out. The whiskers, they are started to coming out as it is. And that's the finished piece, a realistic charcoal portrait of a dog. This drawing challenged my patience and precision, but I learned a lot about texture and contrast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more art and architectural drawing content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.